All right, guys, welcome back to another Meet the Candidate video. And on tonight's program, we have Joshua Randall Wind, but I believe that he prefers to go by JR. Everybody knows him by JR. Is that right, sir?
That's correct, sir. Thank you.
All right. And the reason I was announcing him in the video is Joshua Randall Wind is because that's what the election board has him listed on the official candidate list. And I didn't want you guys to get him confused with Russell Wind, who is also running. So with all of that being said, I wanted to give you a couple of minutes to introduce yourself to the audience and tell us why you're running for Okmulke Seat B.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Mvskoke Media. Like I said, my name is Joshua Randall Wind. I normally go by JR. When I go out and visit the communities or anyone in public, everyone knows me more as JR. I'm the son of Daniel and the late Anna Wind. I graduated from Henrietta High School and also graduated from on a dean's list with Langston University. I'm currently the community specialist for community research and development for the tribe. At this time, I had to take a leave from my position due to me filing for candidacy. One of the reasons I wanted to run was because being the community specialist gave me the opportunity to go visit a lot of. We have 24 communities and visit each community, and during those 4 years, I was able to hear the concerns from each citizen. And it just wasn't one community. It was a gathering of a lot of concerns from north and south on our reservation, and that's the reason they feel like they're not being heard, or they feel like no one's listening to them. And I just want to change that. I want to be more transparent for our citizens, and I wanted to take a step up at doing this.
All right. Well, and I want to remind you guys, if you have a question, pop it in the chat. I don't see any questions right now, so I'm going to start on the questions that have been emailed to me from citizens. So the first one on that list is, has the election board or any other governmental body instructed you not to speak about the MCN Supreme Court's decision in the Freedman case?
Not directly. They have not told me anything directly in regards to what I can and can't say. I think it was just more of a be careful what you say, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Prior. But no one directly said we can't, as far as me, said you cannot say anything.
Okay.
And I'm not going to get all that information out since I don't know the full concept of what's going on within the legal aspect.
Okay. What is your opinion on the decision?
It's a 50-50 thing to me, honestly. I applaud it, but at the same time, I know it's going to be a strenuous thing on not only the tribe, but also the communities as well. That's going to change a lot of things that will affect the communities as a whole. And of course, it's going to affect a lot of the departments and stuff like that. But at the same time, though, it's looking almost towards like the future of what can possibly happen. So we just have like everything, just like how we do a lot of things as a tribe. We go with it and we'll work it, and we're going to have a lot of bumps and all of that. But we'll get through it. I think we'll get through it as long as we stay as a whole. So.
Okay. The next question on the list is, the Mvskoke are a nation, not a race of people. Do you agree or disagree? If you disagree, could you explain?
We're a nation. We're a nation of indigenous people. The only way we're a race is when we're listed on applications and federal census and stuff like that. I believe that we're human like everyone else. But we're our own culture. Even though we have numerous tribes in our state, we're our own culture. We're our own people. And so I believe as a nation, we are who we are.
All righty. The next question here is, do you think the blood quantum requirement for office or chartered community boards needs to be changed?
We're just coming all kinds of tough questions. I think it goes along the lines that it's something that we're going to have to look towards. That's going to have to help our future for the tribe as a whole. A lot of our full bloods are not around, and we're all we're losing a lot of our 3/4 and higher people as we get older and go away. And I think that's something that we are going to have to look at. That's something that's going to have to, we're going to have to accept that it may have to occur for our tribe.
Okay. We've had a question pop up in the chat here. T.Y. Prols asking, would you support a fund to expand the Council Oak Hospital campus to increase services availed on site that aren't currently available, like dental?
I certainly would. I think that'd be helpful to all of our citizens, not to have everything in one place, kind of like how they're building that building on the complex, have all the services on one place in that one building on the complex. So I think that would ideally be a great place for everyone to go without having to go across the state or across to other counties. I think that would be beneficial to our citizens.
All right. The next question here on my list, while I'm waiting on the chat question to come in, is, have you reviewed the latest quarterly report? How familiar are you with it?
I'll be honest with you, I have not reviewed it. I have gone over numerous quarterly reports for the communities, but nothing for the tribe as a whole. So I can always say that's something that I will look to doing a lot more. But yeah, I will make sure I study up on that and have a better answer for the person next time.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Do you know the amount currently held in the permanent fund? Would you support a movement to accumulate over $1 billion in the permanent fund before the end of the decade?
I'm not sure of the accurate account of the numbers in our account at this time, but I would, with this moving, with the way the government is going these days, it would not hurt to try to build up our account to help our departments, to help our people out.
All right. Are you aware of the draft legislation by Senator Mullen that proposes to give the Cherokee Nation authority over the Cherokee Reservation, including gaming? I think this is the asking your opinion about the UKB Cherokee Nation situation.
I'm in support of the UKB. I think their own entity within the tribe. It's kind of like how we have 3 tribal towns with our own reservation. And I think they deserve to have their opportunities, just like any other tribe that's in the state. So
all right.
I support it. So.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned tribal towns, because that's the next question. Are you a citizen of any federally recognized tribal town?
No, I am along the bloodlines of the Hickory Ground tribal town, but I am eligible on my grandfather's side, on both my grandfathers, to be either Alabama or Mvskoke tribal town.
All right. And do you the follow-up sorry, go ahead. The
follow-up go ahead.
The follow-up question there is, do you think dual enrollment in a federally recognized tribal town is a conflict of interest, particularly in instances where somebody maybe has a seat in one of the tribal towns' governments and also in the Creek Nation government?
I think it could be a conflict at times, because you would have to decide which entity's going to have to take more precedence over which one.
Okay.
I think that's where you have to kind of look at it. But I also think as a tribal town full of Creek citizens as well, it would be better if we could work together to stop the double dipping that people say is going on.
Right.
But as for the conflict thing, I think you would just have to decide either the Mvskoke Nation or one of the 3 tribal towns.
Okay. Are you familiar with the MCN Priority Climate Action Plan, and how will you work on the council if elected to enact the recommendations in the plan and facilitate meeting its goals?
I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I'm not accurate on that right now. For me to give an answer on anything with climate or anything that I have not read would be unfair to the person asking that question.
Okie dokie. Well, here's another one. What is your opinion on the district voting amendment that's also on the ballot?
I support it. I really believe that we need to have district voting. But I want also let it know that even though we have district voting, it's not going to take away from us just not working with any citizens. Just because it's just we're making sure our voters are getting for us But it's not like, I just want to reiterate that it's not going to take away from our helping other citizens outside of our district or outside of our reservation.
Okay. We had a question pop up here in the chat. Tulsi Town is asking, will you start a National Council chair volleyball team if elected?
Actually, I've been contacted a couple times about possibly doing an intertribal one for a statewide one for all the tribes. I think I just talked to someone last night about that, or at one of the other forums. They were mentioning it. The goal, I said, that's always been my goal, is to bring a big chair volleyball. It's it's a unique experience to understand when you get to see a bunch of elders being real competitive, and it brings joy to me to watch that kind of stuff. Not only that, but it's also like a family gathering. You hear people. It's one of those things. It reminds me of going to Fourth Sunday at a church.
Yeah.
You'll hear everyone speak. You hear everyone sing in Creek. Everyone's talking in Creek, and and like I tell people, I don't have grandparents anymore, so being around a lot of elders, it helps me out to get that thing I don't have in my life right now.
Yeah, and that's good for anybody, really.
Yeah, it's good for everybody. I think anyone who has opportunity to come watch, enjoy, and you'll see some competitor older people. I'll tell you that.
We've had another question pop up here. T.Y. Prohl's asking, would you support National Council legislation to stay implementation of the Friedman Order until the Ron Graham case is completely resolved in federal court?
I think I'm not going to answer that one, only because I don't want to. It's one of those 50-50 answers I can only give, and without the full input of what's going on in the legal situation, other than the decisions that are being out, I don't want to imply anything for or against.
Okay. T.Y. Prohl just posted another question. Would you support putting Constitution? Hold on here. Hey, T.Y., will you write that question again? Because you got constitutionals. Removal of blood citizenship on the ballot to let people decide. I think what he's asking is, would you support the removal of by blood from the Constitution in regards to citizenship?
So he's asking about having an open enrollment citizenship without blood on them? That's what I'm getting.
Well, I think he's asking, would you support putting it on the ballot and letting the citizens vote on whether they want by blood to be associated with citizenship?
If the citizens are something that they want to have and see how it goes, then I would support allowing citizens to have input on something like that. That's what I always say. I always want to allow input from citizens, regardless of what it is. And I would support that.
All right. And T.Y. Prohl, if I didn't ask that question right, just repost it in the chat. I was kind of paraphrasing here because one of the words is a little garbled. So I'm going to go on here to my questions. Oh, well, and as Hickory Ground member, what is your opinion regarding the ongoing legal battle between the Porch Band and MCN?
It's a long, drawn out battles going on, and I think we need to stick with it because that is our ancestors who have been mistreated, and unfairly at that.
Well, from your answer, the next part of my question is, if elected to council, will you vote to continue to fund the litigation?
Yes, I would.
All right.
Not only that, because it's also part of my family, from my grandmother's side, being Hickory. Hickory.
Yes.
Yes.
T.Y. Prohl asks, do you support term limits?
Yes, I do. I think it would be beneficial to everybody. I think that would help encourage new people who want to take a chance to be part of the council, and also get away. And sometimes you have to get away from the old to bring in new, and I think that would help that quite a bit.
All righty. ML is asking, J.R. Wind, what is your favorite traditional food?
My favorite traditional food. I like this. I'm a big fan of just fried bread and honey.
All right. That's hard to beat.
It's hard to beat. No, anytime you go for Sunday, you always find different food, and I think one of mine was just having fry bread and if they have everything, Indian tacos. But yeah, I think and grape dumplings, of course. Grape dumplings.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
All right. Ty Pearl has a question in the chat here. Would you support putting same-sex marriage on the ballot to let people decide this issue?
That's a good one. As for I would, even though I may not be a fan of it, but I'm not against allowing other people the opportunity to have it on the ballot.
All righty.
Yeah.
T.Y. Pearl's posted another question here. He asks, Fumby or Chumby?
Fumby. Fumby, I guess.
All right. He said Fumby. All right.
Now she's talking about sour cornbread or something. I want out. No sour cornbread.
All right. I've got one more question on my email question list. I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then Tulsi Town, I'll get your question. I saw it just popped up there. Will you sponsor or support legislation putting constitutional amendments on the ballot to require term limits and to require judges to stand for votes of retention by the people periodically during regular election cycles? So you could do it in two parts. We kind of talked about term limits already. Would you?
Yeah.
You would support legislation for people to vote on whether there's term limits?
Yes, I would.
Okay,
yes.
How about the judges? Should we vote on the judges?
I think that would be a little more harder. I mean, we do it in the state ballots. You do that as a voter. You can determine the state judges. So that's something we should be looking at too. Possibility. I can't say I would support it fully until we get a full in-depth justification for it, or just more detailed how it would work for our nation as a whole. Since we are separate from us, since we are sovereign, we want to make sure it would benefit if we were to allow people to vote for it or not. But if there's enough detail for it, then I'll be all for it.
All right. Tulsi Town has posted a question here that's related to judges. Do you think the Supreme Court justices should be removed for actions taken in the Grayson case?
I can be honest with you, the first reaction from a lot of people is going to be yes. I think that's just going to be a personal from how people feel each person. Do I think it affects a lot of stuff? It does, but it can't really blame the judges because they're doing what they're on the panel to do. So I would rather have a look more evidence as to what came to their decisions to do that than just being plain out. We need to get rid of them.
Okay. Well, I don't see any more questions right. Oh, well, here's a question. T.Y. Prohl is asking, what is your position on pretendians and state-recognized wannabe tribes?
So what's my? Oh, okay. Talking about Indians or wannabe. I don't think we have room for them. And it's more just like I can't support people who are just trying to take advantage of a culture to benefit themselves. That could hurt in the long term. That could bring harmful things to our own tribe or any tribe. That's how be stereotyped, and I don't like how people we be stereotyped. It's hard enough that we're stereotyped as Indians as it is by non-tribal members outside the state. Even within our state, we're looked at as not even we should be in existence by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But when you get pretend Indians and the ones who just want to come and who just want benefit, who thinks we get tons of benefits, that's not fair to anyone. Mm-hmm. So no, I think they're just wasting their time trying to be like us when we all grew up how we were in our own culture.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A lot of the pretend Indians or a lot of the tribes didn't grow up hearing the bad things like, oh, you're not going to be nothing but a drunk. You're going to just be, you're going to be drunk all your life or something like that. Or, even in school, I heard it's not cool to be Indian. They don't have to go through that kind of stuff like I did or any other tribal members had to do that.
Right. So there's been a question put in here, and the person is asking me not to say their name when I ask the question, but I will tell you that the audience can see your name, and the chat is going to be with the video. They'll be able to see your name in the chat. So just to let you know, they're going to see it anyway. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say your name, but the question is, what about language would you try to support and keep our different groups from going if elected, such as the college and their program or even the liaison program? And do you know any language?
I'm very little on my own language. I think the one thing we're in a division right now with our own language is between the elder speakers, how they would speak it growing up, like how I heard growing up, to what they would call New Creek these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a dialect each one. But if it gets our young ones to learn, then that's the one we have to go with, because not everyone's going to learn the dialect from the South. Everyone's going to say Estongo instead of just saying Stongo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be depend on the person and how they're going to be raised and how they want their child to speak or how they want to speak. It's of course, like I said, I grew up around where people said Stongo instead of Estongo. It wasn't saying the whole word. It was just the dialect, that kind of language like that. To me, saying Stongo was the learning way to saying it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they have a follow-up. They said, would you be about helping revitalize our language is what they're trying to get at. Do you well, I guess I'll ask a variant of that question too is, do you have any plans? Like, what do you think we need to do to help with the language revitalization?
One of the things I want to do is utilize our community centers. Each community center has a building, and they all have enough room where they can have code classes there. Like look at Cromwell. Cromwell started doing their language classes a few weeks ago, and they're averaging around 35 to 40 people every Tuesday at their class. Young and old. So that's something that we can continue doing with our other 23 other communities that we have opportunity to do that as well. Even trying to get them into our smaller schools like Wetumpka, or I think Wetumpka has, but like Graham Dustin School. We have a big majority of Laurel Creek kids are in that area too. So we got to go to the areas that could use it. Like, I'm not saying not every community needs it. They all do need it. We all need to learn. But I would utilize our community centers for that.
All right.
And not just the schools within.
All right. I see David Ware here saying chats disappear when the video is posted. I'm just going to go down a little rabbit hole real quick with you guys. So David, this is the deal with the chats. Right after the stream is over, the chat won't be available while the stream is getting processed. But then after the video is done being processed, the chat will be available. You might have to click a button on your browser or wherever you're watching this to see the chat, like enable the chat. But there is a live chat that will replay after the video is done processing. Okay, so sorry about that. I just wanted to explain that so that in case people wanted to see the chat or whatever, you can see it. You just got to wait a little bit anyway. And then click a button maybe, depending on where you're watching it on your phone or whatever. T.Y. Prohl is asking, should treaty tribes be considered superior sovereigns to tribes that are just federally or state recognized tribes?
No, I think we're all tribes trying to fight for our people. I don't think one team is superior to the other. We're all fighting the same battle against the federal government. So I don't think just because we got treaties don't mean we should get more money than the next tribe who's not. Now, when it comes to state recognized tribes, that might be a little more different. But no, I think in the long run, we're all fighting for the same thing. We're all fighting for our people to get better services and just to take care of ourselves.
All right. So I'm done with my question list, and I don't see a question right now in the chat, but I wanted to give you an opportunity. Is there anything that is essential to your campaign, a topic that we haven't talked about that you wanted to get into this video while we're waiting on more questions?
Earlier I had mentioned that, a lot of voices of concern from a lot of the communities where they didn't feel like they were listened to. And it just wasn't just the north or southern communities. It was all of them all at once. I think one of the things is trying to get services to come visit them, the departments to come down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of departments, even as an employee, there's a lot of departments I didn't know existed.
Yes.
And so I feel like if I don't know what's going on, which departments entered in, I'm surely know if the citizens in our communities don't know that department may not exist. So not only I have to do my homework, I would support all the departments to get out there to the communities, and not just do like just to get their numbers up for their next funding or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually get out there and show the communities what they can do, and how they can get help from them.
What could the council do? Is there any way the council could facilitate that?
I would like I said, I'm Okmulke District. I would encourage all of our community. I would go to the communities and tell them, here's what departments are working with certain things right now. Behavioral health issues in our communities, especially for our young ones these days. Our agriculture department. A lot of our southerns are around farmland, so
Mm-hmm.
they can use that kind of stuff. Business stuff up north, even economic development down south. So each department can fit in the communities one way or the other. In some communities could use the departments to their advantage to get things down there for the citizens and stuff.
All right. Well, we are at 27 minutes, and we normally wrap up around 30 minutes. And if there's nothing else that you'd like to add, I don't have any more questions. Next week on the 25th at 6 p.m., we have Jeff Francis, and then the schedule that's on our Facebook is still good. There's not been any updates, so you can go there, and I'm not going to give the entire lineup, but we've got candidate profiles going back to back here for a while. So every day we'll have a candidate profile except for the 29th and the 1st because it's a holiday. Oh, we've had a question pop up here.
Oh.
Do you support raising the school clothing donation allocation?
I would, because like everything else in today's society, everything is going up in prices, and I think clothes would be one of those things. It's a necessity for our kids. I think because you want to look nice when you go to school,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to have the good. But we have to also find the ways for them to be able to take care of this stuff they get as well. Like I heard one of the candidates mention, the first week you look nice, but within a month the clothes are already looking dirty. So there has to be some kind of way we could have it spaced out as well, especially when it comes to winter times in Oklahoma. It gets freezing cold, and a lot of these families can't afford to get a jacket.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of families ain't gonna get a thick coat in August. So I would think we had to kind of find a way to space it out a little bit where they can get that coat without having to go to school on a cold day, freezing.
Yeah.
So
Ella Barnett's asking a question about the preservation of the language, and we covered that a little bit earlier, Ella, so you might rewind the video and go check out that section. And then we have two questions here, one from Tulsi Town and T.Y. Pro. They're both kind of basically the same, about your position on the age of eligibility for elder services. Do you think that 55 needs to be moved up to 62? What's your position on that?
I think 55 is pretty a normal one right now, but for some departments it would be beneficial if it was to move up to 62. But I know that's going to have to be across the board. I would be for if they would raise it to 62, we would still have to put like the 55 to 61 in the interior, for those who aren't able to take care of, let's say, the lawn service. They can't take they can't cut the grass. And we had to find a way for us to see how we could take care of those, even though they're not of that particular age group from 62 and up.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions there, so we are right at 30 minutes. So I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in, Mado and Mr. Wind. I wanted to thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Can I say something real quick?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Oh, don't forget, tomorrow there's going to be a candidate forum at Glenpool Indian Community. It starts at 2 o'clock, be from 2 to 4. So I hope if they get to answer the questions, or they just want to meet me in person or meet the other candidate in person, I'll be there. So.
All right.
And also tomorrow's National Council meeting, too, at 10 o'clock. So.
Yep, it sure is. All right. Well, I think we're good, guys. We will see you guys next week, and have a good weekend. It's a National Council meeting this weekend, so you guys can check that out on their website, and we'll see you again next time. Mado, Hadam, Chihicha,
Thank
please.
you.